When you think about the Iowa State quarter from 2004, you might just picture another common coin from the change in your pocket. But what many people don't realize is that while hundreds of millions were struck, a very small fraction exist in the kind of condition or with the kinds of features that can make them highly valuable to collectors today. If you're 50 or older and you've been saving quarters from the state quarter program, you probably have a few of these tucked away. Some may only be worth 25 cents, but others, depending on grade and rarity, can bring tens or even hundreds of dollars on the collector market. And in the rarest cases, a pristine example can climb much higher. The Iowa State Quarter was the 29th release in the program and came out in August of 2004. Its design captures a scene that's especially meaningful to the state. On the reverse is a one-room schoolhouse, with a teacher and students outside planting a tree. Overhead are the words, "Foundation in Education." The design itself was based on the work of Grant Wood, the famous artist behind American Gothic. The obverse is the familiar bust of George Washington that appears on all state quarters. For Iowa, the theme was meant to highlight the state's strong ties to public education and its tradition of nurturing growth. Philadelphia struck more than 213 million of these coins, while Denver produced about 251 million. On top of that, San Francisco struck special proof coins for collectors, both in clad and in 90% silver. With mintages that high for the circulating issues, it's obvious why most Iowa quarters aren't rare in lower grades. The vast majority entered circulation, passed from hand to hand, and today show the typical nicks, scratches, and where you'd expect from 2 decades of use. In that state, they remain worth only face value. But as always with coins, the story changes when we start talking about condition, grade, and type. If you have an uncirculated Iowa quarter, one that never saw circulation, the value climbs modestly. In average uncirculated grades, it might sell for $1 or $2. At higher mint state grades, 65 and above, the price can climb further. Collectors prize coins that retain sharp details, original mint luster, and virtually no marks. The finer the details on the schoolhouse roof, the teacher and children, and the planted tree, the better. The highest grade coins, mint state 67 and 68, are where values start to become significant. These are coins that show no real flaws under magnification and still have that beautiful cartwheel shine across their surfaces. Such coins are rare because out of hundreds of millions minted, only a tiny fraction survived in such pristine condition. Auction records have shown that the very best examples can bring strong premiums, and while not every coin will sell for hundreds, the top population pieces certainly can. Then we have the proofs. San Francisco struck clad proofs, which are copper-nickel but specially made with polished dies and planchets to create mirror-like fields and frosted designs. These were sold directly to collectors, usually in proof sets. Many remain in excellent condition because they were stored carefully. A clad proof Iowa quarter in high grade can bring a few dollars, sometimes more if it grades at the very top levels like proof 69 Deep Cameo. More desirable are the silver proof versions. These are struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, giving them both intrinsic metal value and collector appeal. Even without collector demand, they're worth several dollars just for their silver content, but in flawless proof condition they can be worth significantly more. If you have a quarter with an S mint mark and a mirror-like finish, check the edge. If it shows solid silver without a copper stripe, you're holding a silver proof. Those are always worth more than their clad counterparts. Errors are another category to consider. While not every coin series produces famous errors, the sheer number of Iowa quarters struck means mistakes did happen. Some collectors have reported die cracks running across parts of the design, raised lines caused by fractures in the dies. Others have found off-center strikes, where the design is shifted to one side and part of the blank is visible. The more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin becomes. There are also clipped planchets, where part of the blank metal was missing before the coin was struck, leaving a curved cut out of the rim. Lamination errors, where the metal surface peels or separates, are another possibility. These errors are far less common than regular strikes, but when authenticated, they can bring premiums ranging from a few dollars to well over $100, depending on how dramatic and unusual they are. Now, let's walk through what you should look for if you want to evaluate your own Iowa quarter. Start with the mint mark. A P means it came from Philadelphia, D from Denver, and an S means it's a proof. Next, examine the coin's condition. Does it still have mint luster? Are the tiny details of the schoolhouse roof visible, or have they been worn smooth? Are the letters sharp, or do they look flattened? Any scratches, dings, or discoloration will lower value. If you think you have a proof, check for that mirror-like shine and frosted devices. If you suspect it's silver, check the edge for solid silver color rather than a sandwich of copper and nickel. For uncirculated coins, look for strong strike quality. The devices should be crisp, and the fields free of marks. Under magnification, the fewer contact marks you see, the better. If you think your coin might qualify for the higher mint state grades, it could be worth sending to a grading service. Certified coins in top condition are the ones that sell for the strongest prices. For proofs, cameo contrast is important. Collectors pay more for coins where the raised devices, like the schoolhouse and figures, are frosty white against deep mirrored fields. Deep cameo proofs with no hairlines or haze are the most desirable. Silver proofs in this condition are especially popular because they combine precious metal with beauty and rarity. When it comes to market values, here's what you can realistically expect. A circulated Iowa quarter is worth $0.25. An average uncirculated example might bring $1. In gem uncirculated grades, prices can climb to $10, $20, or even more depending on how flawless it is. Proofs typically sell for around $5 to $10, with silver proofs closer to $15 or $20. At the very top end, flawless examples certified by grading services can bring higher prices, and dramatic errors can push values into the hundreds. So take a closer look at your change jars, old mint sets, or family collections. Check for mint marks, check for condition, and look carefully for anything unusual. Most of the time, you'll just find common coins. But every now and then, you might uncover a hidden gem, a coin that transforms from everyday pocket change into something truly valuable. And that's why the 2004 Iowa State Quarter, with its simple schoolhouse design, deserves your attention.